Well, Ivan, thanks for being willing to do a video. You have a unique story, but also perhaps a story very similar to other people. So let's just talk a little bit about your background with church. How did you get involved in church in the first place?
I got involved in church because my parents brought me to church. My mom was Catholic growing up. My dad was Mormon, so they kind of settled on Christianity being somewhere in the middle. So
Okay.
we moved to my dad was relocated to Woodland when I was like 3, and we lived actually on Alder Court, which is right over across from that's the street that's across from the playground. That fence.
Oh, right over here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we lived over there, and we started coming here when these were 2 separate churches.
Okay. And did you get involved with the youth group? Were you a part of that, or were you just kind of showing up and not doing anything else other than arriving for youth group night?
I did when I was in high school.
Okay.
I was chosen to be a leader in the youth group.
Yeah. Where was your relationship with God then when you started as a youth leader?
So back then, looking with the knowledge I have now,
Yeah.
I did not have a relationship with God.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was a leader I was coming to church every week.
Yeah.
I was a leader in the youth group. I was doing everything. I looked good to everybody else, but I was doing that for my personal benefit, for my personal gain. Like, it made me feel good.
Yeah. And so you knew all the right answers, right? Because people could ask you those
Mhm.
questions. You knew the answers. You obviously were able to be a leader and help other kids.
I led people to Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, we had people come down, and I'd be one of the people praying with them. Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. Did you, when those experiences happened, did you think, man, that's really cool, I want that? Or were you like, cool, like I did something awesome?
It was cool. Like, I did something awesome.
Okay.
Like look at me.
So what woke you up to this? What changed to make you go, man, I've been doing all this stuff, but I haven't really been doing it for God's glory. I've been doing it for my glory.
Well, essentially what happened is I throughout high school I was a good kid. I didn't do anything wrong, and it wasn't because I knew certain things weren't the right thing to do. It's because I was afraid of my mom,
Okay.
who was back then was a terrifying person. She's tiny, but she was terrifying, and I was afraid that she'd get mad at me. So I listened, didn't party, didn't do any of the bad stuff in high school. Then I moved away for college, and then I was free, and so I was living my life and living the life I never got to live. And I'd come home and I'd visit. And so my sister and I have always been very close.
Okay.
We're only 10 months apart, so we're kind of like twins. And so we've always had a super close connection.
Yeah.
And so I'd always talk to her on the phone when she was going to school in LA, or I'd come home to visit. And so she was hanging out with a group of friends, and I saw that they had something that I didn't.
Okay.
And so they would talk about God, they talk about church, and I at the time I still believed I was a Christian. I saw something in them that I didn't see in me.
Okay.
And so it got me to question myself a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. And was there a person in your life that made you ask the hard questions, or a situation that occurred to make you say, all right, I guess who I was before wasn't actually a follower of Jesus. It was just a follower of my own, maybe arrogance or my pride or whatever that was. And now I realize I need to submit my life to Jesus. Was there a particular time that occurred?
There was. So it was all the stuff I had learned growing up had got me to know what the right answer was.
Up here.
Right, up here.
Right.
Yes. And so knowing that stuff, being around my sister and her friends, who included Josh, by the way, at the time, got me to start to question, really, was I really saved?
Yeah.
And then when I started to figure out that I obviously wasn't living for God, I still was unsure whether was I not ever saved, or was I saved but then fell away, and then because with all the partying and stuff, and then now I'm coming back. And so it's something I just prayed about and took a hard look on, and I realized to myself that I was never actually saved. And so ironically, I was going to school in Sacramento at the time, and I was sitting on a bench. I was smoking, and because I had developed that habit back then, and I was having a cigarette, and it just hit me all of a sudden that it was out of the blue. I wasn't even thinking about it. It hit me all out of the blue that I was never saved.
What'd you do when that happened?
I immediately prayed for salvation.
Wow. And you still remember where you were?
I still remember where I was.
What you were doing and everything.
It was August 29th. I remember the day.
After. Yeah. So when you look at, your involvement in ministry and church today, thinking about your motivation, what is your motivation for doing what you do in church and in the body of Christ today?
My motivation is to do the work of God in whatever capacity He wants me to be in.
Mm.
And so there's a lot of things I do here, just small things and things that not everybody has to be a big piece of the pie, has to lead music every week or sing special songs, or people that have skills and abilities and tiny skills and abilities that help with things like these videos, for example. You know, during COVID, I taught myself how to edit a video, and I'm not Steven Spielberg by any means, but you know, it's something that I can do, and it benefits the church.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your willingness to talk about your story and how God changed you through that. It's really neat to hear how God continues to work in people's lives.
You are my